Finance you have not studied, but you are aspiring for a job of grade B, the best job in the field of banking and finance in India. You have to study finance. This video is especially for you if you don't like finance or you have not studied finance, and how you can make it the most scoring paper in your RBI Phase 2 exam. Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. My name is Chandraprakash Joshi and we are here helping you making your job preparation 50% faster. I am going to tell you 7-step strategy, and I am telling it with entire confidence because I myself come from a background having not studied finance, made into RBI Grade B, and during these years have interacted with hundreds of successful candidates, those also coming from non-finance background but cleared RBI Grade B exam, scored well in finance. You will love finance. This will not only help you in cracking RBI Grade B exam, but finance is an integral part of our day-to-day life today. This preparation of RBI Grade B and this learning of finance is going to help you lifelong, starting with step number 1. Understand the finance syllabus as it is given in the RBI Grade B notification. I am reading. You be patient. Finance is divided in 3 parts. First part is financial system. System means how these organizations, banking, non-banking, regulatory bodies, all India financial institutions, what is the financial system in our country. Second part is financial markets. When it comes to market, it is more about primary and secondary market. I will explain you. And third is other journal topics. Financial system is about understanding of the structure and functions of financial institutions in India. The topmost institution when you study this topic will be RBI. I will come to that step by step. In addition to RBI, you will have to understand all regulatory body organizations like SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, IFSCA, their functions, their headquarters, the roles and responsibilities, and also institutions, banking, non-banking like mutual fund, also industry of NBFCs, insurance, overall understanding of the functions of important institutions. You have to go a little deep in the functions of RBI. Then the banking system in India, because this is what RBI regulates, structure and development, financial institutions like SIDBI, EXIM, NABARD, NSB, NAFID. Recent development in global financial system and its impact on Indian financial system. Today the economy is very well connected. Development, how you will continue to build, I will come to that. Role of IT, non-banking, as I said about NBFCs, because these are also licensed by RBI. Development in the digital payments. After the Payment and Settlement Act of 2007, RBI got all the powers to regulate the payment system in India. Digital payment is what changing the market. You know UPI very, very well. So this one is financial system, and then financial market. Unlike in SEBI, where you have to go very deep in financial market, here it is primary and secondary market understanding of this. And this order also you see forex, which is regulated by RBI. Money market, again RBI regulated. Bond equity is at the end because priority has to be given on this. These fine prints are very, very important. Otherwise, if you start reading from books, you will feel I have studied the topic, but whether you have studied the topic for the RBI Grade B exam. Functions, instrument and recent development in financial market. And then come general topics like financial risk management, basics of derivatives. Word basics is important. Again, if you go too much into detail, you will get confused. I will show you how much you shall study. Then global financial market and international banking, broad trend, latest development. You may connect this topic to this topic because ultimately it is one exam. You have to understand there will be many such connections. Financial inclusion is about bringing people, those who are not connected with the formal financial institutions, basically poor, into financial system. Schemes like PMJDY. Alternate source of finance is a new topic you will have to understand, like P2P lending, alternate investment fund, private and social cost benefit, public-private partnership models, PPP models. Corporate governance here in banking sector. If I tell you corporate governance is a big topic, today I am just telling you finance strategy, but I am showing you in the management part, ethics at workplace and corporate governance is a complete chapter. So you have to go very much in detail about corporate governance. But here it is how RBI ensures that in the banking sector, corporate governance is taken care. Then this is about union budget, basics of accounting and financial statement. When we have placed the content in our course, we started with basics because understanding the system and market is important. But once you have the basic of balance sheet, profit and loss and cash flow statement, these 3 are the important statement, financial statement. I will also tell you that some of the technical aspect like these ratio analysis, also some of the topic in alternate source of finance which you find difficult, maybe some deeper understanding of derivatives, you may skip. Inflation is mentioned here and a very, very important topic because you have to go deeper here in the trend definition, estimate, consequences, WPI, CPI, wholesale price index, consumer price index, because inflation management is the job of RBI. Now it is inflation targeting. You must be knowing RBI as a central bank has a mandate of price stability. Therefore, RBI always monitor inflation data. There is always a debate about what is the right parameter to measure inflation, what shall be the indicators inside inflation. These kind of things you have to understand in theory and also the latest development. Once you have got the understanding of the syllabus, now the step number 2, on the same topic, on every topic you will have hundreds of pages to read if you take the books suggested by RBI in the notification. But do you really have that much of time? No. So what you have to do, you have to understand that on these topics, what are the kinds of questions being asked. This becomes your step number 2. You will realize that in some of the topics there is too much of depth in the questions, and some of the topics it is basic understanding which will be suffice to clear the exam. You can find previous year questions here. There are 2 modes, normal mode and exam hall mode. In exam hall mode, your camera access will be asked by the system, and then the system will monitor you. These are the kind of questions asked people who are disciplined and organized, belong to which type of personality. Okay, this is management question. First I am going to objective question. These are all management questions. So far, what role the principle of transparency play in corporate governance? Very simple question. Basic understanding of corporate governance will be good enough. Alternative source of finance refers to non-traditional methods that businesses explore beyond conventional options to secure funds for their operations and expansion. Which of the following is not an alternate source of finance? So if you know what is crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, dark pool investment and venture capital, you can write the answer. NAFED was set up as a development financial institution regulated and supervised by RBI. What is the role of NAFED in the economy? Then there is a paragraph about Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. The question is, what is the enhanced accidental insurance limit under PMJDY? Information sometimes is given in the paragraph, sometimes it is not. Mostly it is not actually. So these are the type of questions about PMJDY. PM Suraksha Bima Yojana is the question here. Yearly premium amount. What is the new premium amount that is asked? This fit and proper criteria. Again about corporate governance in banking, management and finance overlap. What respect to the risk management committee? What is the quorum of a meeting of the committee? So it is a corporate governance thing again in banks. Who serves as the chairman of the risk management committee? This is as per the RBI guideline for the risk management committee. I believe you are getting my point. What kinds of questions are being asked? Which committee is mandated by RBI under the fit and proper criteria? This is a numerical. Company's net income is this, and the total assets are 5 lakh. The ROA, return on asset. I think it is a very easy numerical, because you know return on asset means income as a percentage of the total asset. For numerical preparation, if such straightforward question is there, do it. Otherwise, be ready to skip. As per RBI guideline, ARCs, an asset become non-performing when the interest of principal is overdue for a period of how many days? And another question on ARC. This is a question on special situation fund and about stagflation, prospect of global stagflation. Inflation, as I mentioned the topic here. Concept of arbitrage in finance. This will come definitely when you are studying fundamentals. This is about accounting rule, about NBFC, the correct statement you have to identify. And if you submit it here, then have a look at the descriptive question. Explain in detail the scope and applicability of the RBI's retail direct scheme. Discuss the big 5 factor model of personality management question. Explain the contribution of Henry Fayol. It is also a management question. About code of conduct, discuss ONDC framework, explain in detail pre-sanctioned credit line on UPI. I am sure going through the questions now you got more confidence that finance is really not going to be that difficult. Now comes the step 3, building strong fundamentals. Once you have understood where to go, then you will find out then here in the course, so general finance, this overview I have already done. Basics of accounting and financial statement. So start from building the basic fundamental, basic of valuation. Advanced you can skip when you are starting the preparation. When you are coming to revising it, then maybe you do this, unless you are getting very crystal clear in the first reading. Then this is as per the syllabus, structure and function of financial institution, function of RBI banking system in India. Let me start with basic of accounting and financial statement. Here you have these videos. Understanding financial statement, that is balance sheet. Understanding balance sheet. Go through this video. What are financial statement? How to read them? Your job in RBI is not to prepare financial statement. Understand, you are not going to be an accountant, but you have to understand financial statement. When you are doing this, if you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt here. If you want to take any notes, you can take your notes. Just studying is not enough. You have to practice MCQ. MCQs actually tells you what is the depth of understanding. These tests are given here. First, at the end of this video, there is take test. So these are very simple questions about the content which is there in the video. Suppose you want to skip this video, so you can start with these test questions. That way you can even skip the video maybe you have already studied that topic. And then to test your overall performance in understanding the concept, the accounting concept, give this test. This test will help you to understand capital structure of a company consists of equity and preference share, equity capital, long-term capital, equity and debt capital, preference and share capital. So these objective questions are the real building block, and these solid building blocks are required when you are talking about preparing finance. But I am quoting it again, not in every topic of the finance you can be as strong. So when you prepare, when you read, you will find out where you are getting the grip, because this will help you in even writing the descriptive answers. The next step, fifth step here I want to bring is importance of reading newspapers. By now you have understood that it is not going to be a very technical paper of finance, but it is the general understanding with the basic concept. So you have to read newspaper regularly. You are then knowing what is happening in general in the field of economics and finance. This is useful for both ESI and FM paper. Let me take through an example. I normally read the Economics Times, so I am taking this paper, Economics Times here. I am taking today's Economics Times. In Reboot India, ready to press or delete about Google text. The news here, then SEBI panel. On the front page, there is a news about the conflict of interest disclosure may be on the SEBI agenda. So this is again a corporate governance point. PSB is bearing good deal of credit card bad debt. The bad debt NPAs are increasing in the credit card segment. Heartening news, device made in India to help transplant patients. So this is not finance related. I will skip this. And about Nifty, it is bullish. Then there are some more points. And if I turn the page, there are more political news about Manipur and something about Justice Verma. I am going directly to editorial page for the interest of the time. So here if you see, there is a news article which is about telecom sector and dial-up performance before relief rings, and then there is an article about holidays are not meant to refresh, not exhaust. So it is about the importance of tourism, how tourism brings forex to the country, how India is still not ready because of the infrastructure issue, because of the pollution issue, because of the safety security concern. But it mentions the scope of the religious tourism in India, and that has been observed during the Kumbh time. The tourism is contributing 5% to the GDP, which is not big, but because we have a population, we have religious tourism. So the scope has been discussed here. Then it is talking about government versus grok, and the unmasked gross, whether it shall be regulated, the impact these social media cause, including in elections. Then likewise, if you read these financial paper, you spend about an hour daily. So this will give you enough insights about the important thing happening in Indian economy, global economy, finance, economics, social issues, all will be covered here. Very, very useful. In fact, must for RBI Grade B preparation. Here I would like to re-stress the point that reading these newspapers, reading the important periodicals, you have to understand everything cannot be same for all the successful candidate. It depends on your own interest, your background, and the availability of the resources also. But the point is, like newspaper, there may be periodicals like Economic and Political Weekly. This is a magazine which I used to read when I was preparing for RBI Grade B. I was talking to many successful candidates. Specifically, I would quote this long discussion with Tanay, who is All India Rank 1. And he told that he actually scored less in finance. I asked him, if you go through this long conversation, it is very, very deep insight. You must go through this entire conversation. So he mentioned that how he made it a strategy not to focus in the difficult topic in the finance, rather use the same amount of time in building his strong base in ESI in writing the descriptive answer. Therefore, for writing this descriptive answer, it is important to go through these important periodicals and newspaper. In the same direction, the sixth point is important reports and summary. When it comes to finance, so the topic contains some fundamental things we discussed already. Now what updates are happening? There are various reports published by RBI, published by World Bank, published by IMF. Here if you come in the course RBI reports and circulars, you will find content in form of notes about circular summary, month-wise mentioned here. Also in this general awareness section, we have this chapter, important reports and indices. In addition to budget economic survey, we have this, and then for RBI reports, there is another chapter here. You can go through these notes, RBI August Bulletin, RBI Governor building blocks for a sustainable future, because the points you will get from these notes are going to be very, very helpful in answering objective questions like this. And also these paragraph you read will help you in writing the descriptive answer. These are the notes for covering the basic things in the course. The syllabus about financial markets, you can download these notes, make your own point not the complete notes, so that you can revise it very quickly. There is no depth of content. Content is easily available nowadays, and if you have course, you have all content in a very crisp form, which is available to you at one place. You need not to spend your time wander here and there for finding out the right content. But the main thing is how you consume this content, how you make your own strategy, because even finance, if I talk about our crisp content, it will run into hundreds of pages, and then the complexity of some of the topics that may really deter you from the preparation. But you need to focus on clearing the exam, not becoming the expert of finance. That is the final point I want to tell you. Seventh step, practice writing. Writing comes only by writing. Whatever amount of knowledge you have, if you are not in habit of writing, and this was happening a lot, that's why RBI introduced this descriptive writing paper. Earlier the exam used to be objective for FM and ESI. So descriptive writing you have to practice, and you have to practice today itself. I am telling you, you are reading newspaper, you are reading BeePedia, you are reading any other periodical or summary report, write few lines. And instead of writing on a piece of paper, develop habit of writing on a computer keyboard. Your writing speed is also very critical if you want to really score high. Otherwise, you will be under pressure in the exam hall. If you directly practice here, this is the format, exam-like format, and if you practice here and get your answer evaluated by our team, you submit this and it will go to the team and you will get the feedback that will help you in improving your score. After writing, it is also important to take a feedback, how you can improve it, because the art of crisp writing is the key of getting success. The summary of the today's strategy is, it is not just about the knowledge of the finance. You need to have some fundamentals so that you can write your answers very well, but it is not about the technicalities of the finance. Otherwise, RBI would have asked only CS to apply. If science graduates are also there, if history graduates are also there, it means the paper is not that difficult. It is first understanding the basic syllabus, basic understanding, and then writing your answer in such a precise manner that you score. I stop it here. You have any question? Please ask me, and without wasting time, start preparation, start writing. I wish you all the best. We are here to unfold your potential and to make your job preparation 50% faster. Thank you.